Now, regarding the burden of proof issue, there's a little pitfall I want to warn you against. It's what I call the professor's ploy. Now, if you're in college or have been there, you probably know the professor. There's a lot of them around who makes it their professional goal to destroy the faith of every Christian that comes into their room. Somebody once said, my professor had all the Christians raise their hand at the beginning of class and then said, you won't be a Christian when I get through with you. And this is the kind of person who's very free with his ideas. And he might say something like, well, the Bible's just a bunch of fables. And in a situation like that, you often will have a well-meaning Christian in the audience who doesn't want to let this pass. You know, he's going to stand up and take the professor on and meet him head-to-head, as it were. And this is right-hearted, okay, but very wrong-headed, all right? And the reason it's wrong-headed is because it violates a basic rule of engagement. Never make a frontal assault on a superior force in a fortified position, all right? Because there is a law of nature that governs interactions like this. And here's the law. The man with the microphone wins, all right? I know I've been behind the microphone a lot. That's the position of power. You don't want to do that. That's stupid, all right? Now, I don't mean that you should disengage. I'm saying don't get into a power play when you're at a disadvantage. The professor has the advantage. He knows it. Don't disengage. Use your tactics instead. That's the better way. So when the professor says something like, well, the Bible's just a bunch of fables, now you know a question, if you're the student, that you can ask the professor. And you raise your hand, and what might be a question that you would ask of the professor? What do you mean by that? Our first Columbo question. So you get some detail from him. After you've gotten a little detail so you know more clearly what his point of view is, you raise your hand again like a good student and you say, question number 2, now how did you come to that conclusion, right? So you're drawing him out. Now, by the way, is this rude? No, I mean, you're the student. This is what you're supposed to be doing, right? Now, it may turn out, though, that the professor catches on. Right? You are making him defend his view. You are making him bear the burden of proof. You're staying engaged, but you're sidestepping the power struggle. These are all advantages to going this direction rather than the other way. But he may catch on what's going on. He may figure out, oh, that you must be one of the Christians. In fact, he might say that. Oh, you must be one of those Christians. Those people who believe the Bible's the Word of God, every jot and tittle. Well, look, I've got a few minutes, and I'm a fair guy. I'll give you an opportunity. Why don't you stand up and explain to the rest of the class why you believe the Bible isn't just a bunch of fables, but it's the inspired Word of God. Go ahead. Now, what has the professor done? He's reversed the burden of proof, hasn't he? And why is that illicit in this situation? Because if you're the student, you have not made any claims, have you? Don't take the bait. Whenever anybody wants to reverse the burden of proof on you, don't take the bait. Just calmly respond by saying something like this. Well, professor, actually, you don't know what I believe because I've never said it. And actually, it doesn't matter. I'm the student here. I'm here to learn. You're the one who's made the claim, not me. I just want to know your reasons for it. If you have any good evidence for the point of view that you're offering. Or maybe you just want us to take this all in faith. No, don't say that. That's now you're back to our, power struggle. If he gives an answer, by the way, thank him for it and either ask him another question or let it go. I mean, that kind of thing. But just don't miss the implication of this technique in this circumstance here. You do not have to be the expert on everything. In fact, if you keep the burden of proof on the other side where it often belongs, you don't even have to know any answers at all. You can be very effective if you know very little if you ask the right questions. Remember, the 2 most important Columbo questions are essentially, what do you believe and why do you believe it?